Hi everyone, my name is Shamini and I'm the Executive Director of the Asian Forum for Human Rights and Development, or Forum Asia. We are a network of 81 member organizations across 21 countries in Asia working on human rights and development, and it gives me such pleasure to be speaking with you today at the International Human Rights Film Festival. This festival is co-organized by our member Bir Duino, and it is organized to commemorate the International Human Rights Defenders Day. It's also very inspiring to know that even in such a challenging time, there are people who devote their time and effort to continue telling the stories of human rights and human rights defenders from across the globe. And I want to thank you all for making this festival happen, for bringing human rights into the spotlight, and for recognizing and appreciating the work of human rights defenders, advocates, activists who strive every day to ensure that human rights is not just a theory but a practice. The work of human rights defenders, including women human rights defenders, are important because of the values that they hold dear. Their role to speak up for other people's rights and to create a safer and inclusive society for all. The work of human rights defenders, including women human rights defenders, is important because of the values that they hold dear. Their role to speak up for other people's rights and to create a safer and more inclusive society for everyone. Yet, the work of human rights defenders is often unrecognized or even seen as a threat by both state and non-state actors, including corporations and extremist groups. For most of us, 2020 has been a difficult year due to the pandemic. For human rights defenders, the pandemic has meant that more rights are violated, not only because of this unprecedented health crisis, but also the extreme conditions that affect their basic rights. This poses additional challenges to the human rights work that human rights defenders do, especially when it affects the most vulnerable and marginalized of communities. The spaces in which human rights defenders are working have become more volatile with the increased authoritarianism that we are witnessing in the Asian region. Until October 2020, at least 525 cases of violations against human rights defenders have been recorded by Forum Asia. Further, there has been an increased use of repressive laws curbing fundamental freedoms and targeting human rights defenders in the region. I'd like to now spotlight a point I made earlier about women human rights defenders. Women human rights defenders in particular are among the groups most affected. Not only is their security, safety, economic stability, and very often their well-being being threatened, so is their family and their community. Women human rights defenders are subjected to similar threats as other defenders, but they face unique challenges as a result of their gender identity and political participation. For many human rights defenders who are women, gender-based attacks, harassment, stigmatization, and discrimination are not new things. Because women who are politically active or working in the defense of the rights of others are often seen as challenging patriarchal norms and cultures. Despite numerous risks and threats, women human rights defenders continue to be at the front lines of struggles to reclaim civic spaces and to push states and other actors to respect fundamental freedoms and rights for all. It is because of those courageous women, many of whom I'm addressing today, that is why we are able to challenge the status quo, bring progress, and make change happen. Now more than ever, there is a need to push for greater cooperation and solidarity to support the work of human rights defenders. Cooperation is important to provide human rights defenders the safe spaces for discussion and exchange of ideas and opinions. These spaces are crucial for them to establish a common ground, to strategize together, to learn, to support, and to protect one another. And that's also why your work is important, to expose rights violations and to shed light on the invaluable work of human rights defenders. What better way to do that in film? Today, anyone can be a human rights defender. If you're working for the promotion and protection of human rights, by taking peaceful actions such as reporting violations, monitoring a situation, providing support to victims, or advocating for the rights of minority groups, then you are a human rights defender and you are contributing to the growth of a movement. In conclusion, thank you for giving us the honor to participate in this festival, to commemorate human rights and the work of human rights defenders in the region. In the near future, Forum Asia hopes for a greater collaboration with our members and our partners in Asia and beyond, and we look forward to participating again in such activities like the One World International Human Rights Documentary Film Festival. I thank you so much for your attention and wish you a pleasant event.